Let's begin the broadcast with our exclusive news break. The Kerala gold scandal news break gets bigger. Times Now has now accessed a fourth set of call data records which establishes a direct link between the accused, Swapna Suresh, and a top UAE diplomat. 117 calls were in fact made between the duo, of which most of them were between 1st June and 4th of July. In fact, 35 frantic calls were even made after the gold consignment was seized by the customs. Now the agencies are getting closer to nailing the entire network. We have with us our executive editor Vivek Narayan. My colleague Vivek Karandalam also joins us on the broadcast. Let's first go across to Vivek Narayan. Well, there were allegations of political link in involvement of top diplomats, but now there is proof.
Swati, it's getting bigger and every breaking story here on your channel, Times Now. First, we broke the link between the Babus and the smuggling racket. Second, top politicians, we spoke on how K.T. Jalil was allegedly speaking with some of the accused in this case. And now, not just politicians and Babus, it's international diplomats, Arab diplomats who've been in touch with individuals who were involved in this gold smuggling racket. And look at these numbers. CDR records of one of the top diplomats of the UAE High Commission, UAE Embassy in Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, speaks of Al-Shameli, the charge d'affaires of the consulate, who was also at that point the acting Consul General, because Consul General was back in Dubai. This package was apparently meant for Al-Shameli, and Al-Shameli was speaking continuously to both Sarit and Swapna. Now, there were a total of 117 calls in the days that we deciphered about. In 1 month, 117 calls. And what is more important is 35 frenetic calls were exchanged at a point when 48 hours when the customs had seized this gold. They were trying desperately, remember, to re-export it to United Arab Emirates. That was, of course, did not happen. Now, very clearly, this has become so big that not just politicians and babus, but international diplomats are also involved. Remember, these individuals are diplomats and they have immunity. The Indian agencies cannot question them. So it is for the government of India and the MEA to decide on how they want to move ahead with this. Remember, India and UAE have very cordial relationship, especially ever since Prime Minister Modi became the Prime Minister from 2014 till now. Exceptional relations with UAE, but UAE was one of the countries which was being used for a lot of anti-India activities. But over the years, it has seen a reduction. But what does this show? Does it show that the diplomat in some way was running it, or was he also part of this, or was he also being run by other individuals? It's just getting bigger and bigger, Swati.
Let's also go across to Vivek Karandalam. The opposition is going to claim vindication, since the allegation was that not just a political patronage was being provided, but the diplomats were also shielding the main accused in this case. And, as per the call data record, Vivek Karandalam, we get to know that even when Sarit was trying to access the consignment, calls were being made after the scandal broke out as well.
Exactly, Swati. Right from the beginning of this particular case, that is on the 30th or on the 5th of June, when this gold, the 30 kgs of gold, was seized from the Trivandrum International Airport, there has been multiple calls that's been exchanged between Sarit and also, various people in the consulate. And also Swapna Suresh did call, the customs officer at that point of time on the 30th. And but then, the customs officer in charge, Mr. Ramamurthy, clearly said that, they cannot release the baggage. But it was on Sunday, that was on the 5th, that this baggage was opened in the presence of Sarit, and it was found that 30 kgs of gold was kept in steel pipes. Now, right from the beginning, there was allegation that, the UAE consulate, was, in touch, was, working under the influence of Sarit and Swapna Suresh, mainly because remember before this particular instance there was 8 such instances where gold was smuggled from the airport. Now, how can two people who are not working in the consulate anymore still continue to come here and access the baggage or the consignment right under the nose of the airport and the cargo station? Remember, 6 times they have come here, they've come and collected the consignment, They have come in their own personal car. They have paid from their own pocket, and violating all the protocols, they managed to collect the consignments from the airport. So this clearly shows that someone from the consulate was in touch, was helping Swapna Suresh
Hey,
and Sarit.
Karindalam, that's true. We have clear evidence that people from the consulate were in touch with Swapna and Sarit at that point. We are also joined, Swati, at this point by leader of the opposition in Kerala, Mr. Ramesh Channitala. Ramesh ji, namaskaram. Thank you for joining us. Shocking revelations coming here on Times Now that a senior diplomat there, charged the affairs, Mr. Rashid, was in touch with both Swapna and her conduit at that point. How do you react to the fact that these individuals did try and get the gold released?
This is very unusual. The diplomatic channel has been misused only not one time, 10 times for smuggling gold from UAE to India. And also, the interesting thing is, the Chief Minister's Principal Secretary, who is holding the charge of IT department, is also abetting, helping those people who are involved in this kind of a crime, which is a amount to sedition. And the issue is so grave, and the Chief Minister is totally silent on all these issues. And he has not suspended his Principal Secretary. But mere removing the Principal Secretary and sanctioning his leave will not help. He should be suspended forthwith and face an enquiry. Unfortunately, the Chief Minister is saving all these culprits who are involved in this case. The people, the lady who was involved in this case has been traveled from Kerala to Bangalore. NIA nabbed her only from Bangalore. The Kerala police was a mute spectator. So all these are the issues before the people of Kerala. How the Kerala government and the Chief Minister is shielding the culprits. That is why the people are very angry and asking for a separate CBI inquiry along with the NIA inquiry, which is taking place at this juncture.
Ramesh ji, last night till 2 a.m. Mr. Shiv Shankar was grilled by the Customs Department. Do you think there is also call now perhaps for questioning the Chief Minister himself? Because Mr. Shiv Shankar's house, his residence, his official residence was used for quote-unquote anti-national activities. It is quite evident, and these two individuals have clearly said that most of the conspiracy, the hatching of the conspiracy, the planning, everything happened at Mr. Shiv Shankar's residence. And Mr. Shiv Shankar holding such a senior position, two official positions actually, a man who's seen as a right-hand man of the Chief Minister, IT Secretary and Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister. Is it a viable question that you are raising, that the Chief Minister's office should also be questioned by the NIA now?
Definitely, the NIA should definitely question the Chief Minister and the Chief Minister's office in this connection, because everybody knows that he is the right-hand man of the Chief Minister. Without the Chief Minister's permission or without Chief Minister's nod, he was not taking anything. So everybody is angry in the state because of this, the grave crime which has been taken place by the help of the Chief Minister's office. And earlier the Chief Minister was saying that there was only a link or some connection with the lady. Now it has been revealed that the Principal Secretary, Mr. Shiv Shankar, has been contacting these culprits on daily basis, and he has been questioned by CBI for 9 hours. And all this shows that the clear evidence of the link between the Chief Minister's secretary and these culprits.
Ramesh ji, the counter to that is that you are all public figures, whether it be Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan or Mr. Ramesh Channitala. You meet so many people a day. To have a photograph with a person who's handling public relations with the UAE consulate, it's quite common for public servants, public people involved in politics and public service like you or the Chief Minister or any politician. So just because you've been photographed, videographed multiple times doesn't mean that there is a link, is it?
No, I agree with you. When we are in public life, we have to have photographs with so many people. So many people are coming and taking the photos with us. That is a different case. But in this case, notice, not so silly. In this case, the chief minister's principal secretary he was helping these people, talking to them in his flats and in his house. All this conspiracy has been hatched. And there was a number of times, umpteen number of times, he has conversation with this, not only with the lady, and the other culprits also. So
Ramesh ji,
all
this
these
is
reveal.
yeah. Ramesh ji, my question is, this is essentially a crime which has happened, a smuggling racket which has been busted. Now the bigger question, is there a national security implication? Is there a terror angle to the entire thing? You as a seasoned politician, as a person who has been at one point even the Home Minister of Kerala, do you think that there is a national security and terror angle to the entire episode?
I feel that there is a national threat to our countries is also involved in this. And also the terrorist link cannot be ruled out. And I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the point is that in Kerala, the gold smuggling is on rise. When I was Home Minister, I have regular meetings with the customs, CRPF, and the police who are deployed in the airports. And we were trying to have a total security, tighten the security for that, so that this kind of gold smuggling should not have been happened. But unfortunately, for 4 years, there was no proper coordination with the customs and Kerala police on this issue. And also, Kerala is losing more than 3,000 to 6,000 crores of rupees as tax. In the assembly, we raised this issue as a adjournment motion. When replying to that motion, the government replied that they will plug all the loopholes, but they had not done anything. Even the GST officials can nab these people when they are out of the airports.
Yes.
Nothing happened.
Yes, Ramesh Channitala ji, thank you for joining us there from Thiruvananthapuram. Leader of opposition, senior Congress leader Ramesh Channitala telling us two important points. A, the Chief Minister should be grilled by the NIA. His office is under focus. It's high time that the National Investigating Agency questions him. Point number B, as a former Home Minister, as a senior leader, he thinks that there could be a national security terror link to the entire smuggling racket. These are the two big points, Swati, that Mr. Ramesh Channitala has told us there, live from Thiruvananthapuram. Swati.
Absolutely. Let's take those questions across to Mr. Tom Vadakan, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us along with political analyst Kevin Matthews. Good afternoon to both of you. Let me first go across to Tom Vadakan. Tom Vadakan, we don't know the details of the communication that took place between the two, but then doesn't this raise suspicion? 117 calls made between, two individuals, Swapna, who's the accused, the main accused in the case, and the charged affairs. And incidentally, these calls were also made till about the day the consignment was caught and the entire scandal was broken.
Well, this seems to be the tip of an iceberg and investigation is on. I wouldn't like to make a commentary or running commentary on an investigation in progress. But it's a work in progress and definitely steps have been taken to establish a lot of link. There is this terror funding issue. And with this entanglement of diplomats, it is a very sensitive subject because we have a good relation with UAE. But whether these diplomats are doing this on their personal capacity or the countries involved have any knowledge of what's happening are something that the NIA and the MEA needs to go into. It would be in the larger interest of our country that NIA comes out and says what it is investigated, and there are certain relevant portions to be discussed with the MEA, because this is serious stuff and this is against the national security of the country. Now, forget about the tax collections that the Kerala government does, but this is about our country's national security, where funding of terrorists have now been almost established. If this is the case, then I think this is something which the CMO must answer. There is this case of a minister having made so many calls. Now, whether he was discussing the weather or he was discussing other issues is something which I think questioning him would establish. who are the people
Right.
who made these frantic calls from CMO. My suspicion is there are other calls that have gone in. Some names are
There could
not
be
out
other
in
individuals
public
who
yet.
would come under the radar as the investigation proceeds. Stay on with us, Mr. Vadakan. I'll take those questions across to Kevin Matthews as well. For the moment, we're taking a short break.